okay, fuck you. I already knew it was coming.
You knew it
I'm
was
gonna
coming.
I'm gonna turn my lighting up super bright.
All right, but let's get into these DMs. So he says, "You guys need to." Oh, I thought he said need not. I was about to say this motherfucker's talking like an old man. But he says, "You guys need to not do this shit where you keep making me look like some enemy of the people I'm trying to help you. Last night you said you're egging my house. For fuck's sake." Then I said, "You say you're trying to help me, but your notes from yesterday were obviously made to piss us off. You know my wife is off limits, and you've used that to push my buttons, and I'm not doing that shit. And yes, I made a goal to egg your house, but it's content, right?" And then I changed the group banner because we didn't have a banner. We've gone this whole time without having an emblem on our group chat. So then I also said, "We had a good thing going, and I intend on building off of that. We want structure, and that was supposed to be where you came in, and all you've given us is a shitty border and an even shittier script." He said, "I thought your wife was known. I didn't know she was off limits. Didn't you say she had no legs and shit? Figured that was part of the continent." And then he corrected himself and said content. All right, you can't even spell.
Dumbass.
Fat fingers. All right, moving on. And then I said, "Playing stupid isn't going to work for you. You met her, and you knew then I didn't want her on camera or anywhere near this bullshit. Why would that have changed now?" And he said, "Look, I'm not going to argue all day. The show tonight, are you covering another lolcow?
Yes,
If you need notes, here's a few. Here's a few.
Bitch,
Use them if they help." And then I said, "The fuck is that?" And then he said, "1 second." So actually, no. So Mike sent the wrong notes. All right, and dude, he sent the wrong notes, and he's cooked.
What?
All right, he sent the wrong notes, dude. Have you not? All right, we'll get into that in a second. Once we get through this, I have screenshots on my phone. I have multiple screenshots of them on my phone because they were there for like 20 seconds.
Are we showing anything we're not supposed to up here?
Up here right now, I don't care, dude. He's not our manager anymore. So he said 1 second, and then he says, "This is our show notes for tonight, the correct show notes, not the wrong ones that he sent us." Right? So Ozzy, you need to admit you're not egging my house. I can't have that shit I can't have that right now. I've had enough shit going on. Twiggy, you have to seriously stop shitting on me. If you're not going to follow anything, why am I even here? Why were you even here, Mike? I'm not following a script. And I told you that. We told you that from the beginning. And you were cool with what we were doing up to the point where you decided to start fucking with us. And we already have all the other shows talking shit about us. We're not going to deal with the person who's supposed to be managing us, making us look worse or making it look like we're following some stupid-ass script, right?
Right. So the shit you were asking for was stupid as shit, and that's what led us to this point.
Yeah. Like, it was just playful banter and, like, you know, us kind of, like, you know, talking shit on the fact that we had a manager now because it was a last-minute change, and we're going to do that. So I said, "Bro, the fuck is your plan here?" That's referring to, like, the message that he sent and deleted. He said, all right, and then I said, "The fans paid for the egging, so we're going to have to make it work. I'll clean it, but I'm definitely doing it." What was that first screenshot? And then he says, "You got notes for tonight. Are you even following them?" Moving on.
No.
"I got to talk with Gidgy about tonight." And then he says, "If I delete a screenshot, is it gone for everyone or just me? I don't use Discord." And I said, "Are you fucking with me right now?" And then he left our group. So that's when Mike exited as our manager from our point of view. All right?
Yes.
So then he says, then I said, "Maybe he will actually fuck off. What a fucking retard." And then Steak showed up and said, "What the fuck happened here?" This was over an hour later. And then I said,
was with my kid all fucking morning.
I said, "Mike bitched out and left." And you said, "Fuck him then." I said, "Good riddance." And then this is us doing our pre-call show where we just like go over what we're going to talk about. I did not know, like, I didn't even realize, I forgot about the screenshot. Hold up, let me send that to this chat so I can just
What do you mean am I co-signing this? I missed it. But I did say good fucking riddance. What do you guys want me to do? He's being a bitch. He's trying to get us to do dumb shit that I'm not gonna fucking do. He couldn't take the fucking...
So this was just leaked maybe like an hour ago, and oh boy, we're in this. So if this is being made in a quick rush or hurry, yeah, that's why, because this was just leaked literally an hour ago, and I'm just like, all right, let me get on, let me make a video, let's get this ball rolling and just go for it, because I don't care anymore. We're here for the big times. I don't even care if people use this as clips. Go for it. right? Right? I'm saving everybody the hard time of making and digging out this content, right? So if you're not aware, Twiggy decided to just leak his DM with Micah, right? They, if you're not aware, a lot of these people have DMs, right, with each other. They have a private chat for talking about the show off their server, which is normal. It's perfectly fine. Particularly Twiggy, I think had enough. And I think it had to do with a number of factors that were already there. Knowing Twiggy, right? He was against Michael the first time around during the whole age thing that happened a month ago with Bridget, and I know that for a fact because when Keemstar had a poll about whether or not they should keep Michael, Twiggy was a very much advocate of removing him, which is very funny because around that same time, Twiggy actually commented on my live chat during that when I was covering that situation. And then right after that, not much happened. And it's wouldn't be the first time. 2-3 weeks ago, Twiggy leads lolcowaussy commented on my channel. And there's something about it. And the only reason I'm bringing this up because maybe he had this already pre-planned today. He had this already set in motion. That was because of me, but I want to cope for just a little bit. Let me cope right then and there. But in all seriousness, I think this has to do with the way Michael was talking about Twiggy's mom, not Twiggy's mom, Twiggy's wife, which is off limit. Now everybody should know that Twiggy is a bit of a trickster, a bit of a joker, a bit of I pulled it, I'm a prank, bro. And a lot of the time people just buy it because it's Twiggy, right? People just buy what he says because it's Twiggy, and so people just go with it, right? During the whole leg situation, when it was revealed that his wife had an actual legs, I was just like, yeah, it's Twiggy. You take what he says with a grain of salt, but when he's telling the truth, he's telling the truth. And in this moment, I'm like, yeah, you can tell that he was just, nope, done with these people. Really done with Michael. And I guess maybe in a weird way because of the whole DV thing, and since, Twiggy saw the whole thing with Wings happen face to face, he just probably felt, yeah, no. So I guess he took an opportunity to jab at Mike and Keem, particularly with Mike. Let's go on because there's some more to this.
Fucking criticism. He couldn't took the heat. He left the fucking group chat.
All right,
What the fuck were you talking about earlier?
He sent us the wrong notes, and
let's read the fake notes.
This is juicy. This is juicy, guys. This is super juicy. So
he said the messages, and I
screenshotted this on my phone, but I said playing stupid isn't going to work. Blah blah blah. He says I'm not going to argue all day. The show tonight. Are you covering another lolcow? If you need notes, here's a few. Use them if they help. And then it says Queen Supreme, loose lips. All right. So then getting into this. Queen Supreme, loose lips. We really need to sell the idea that you and Roxy have left the LCU. So we want to make donos on the idea that you're going to drink and leak info. Keep Roxy in the dark. She still doesn't want to work with me, and it's just easier this way. Becky does the intros. No, bro. Becky does the intros. Shit on Tina for being a tattletale before you bring in Roxy. Let Thick Jim and I promote his drunk stream a little, but not long. Don't let it get boring. You guys go back and forth about the concept of the show. You're talking shit about the LCU today. Say it's a one-time thing. It won't be. Then he said, have Roxy push the cake to the face thing. No preserves, whatever that means.
I don't think we're supposed to have this.
I mean, he sent it, so now we have it. He's a dumbass, bro. He's a fucking idiot. And then I said, you guys can go back he said, you guys can go back and forth while people get the idea of the $50 shots. Somebody will donate. They're gonna want the tea. And then he said, if nobody is donating, throw jabs at Keem for copying your drinking stream with Boogie. Throw shots at Tina if you need to, right? And then this is it right after he deleted the message. Right? So I said, the fuck is that? And then in these messages, this is where he sent it. I said, the fuck is that? I said, the fuck is that right after. But the dumbass literally sent the wrong script. Like, how dumb can you be, right? So he sent it. I'm gonna use it. It's that simple. I think it's hilarious. But go on, Steak. What were you saying? Let me get this off. Ah, I just gagged. Let me get this off the screen.
I don't know if we were supposed to.
I mean, dude, it's on him, right?
All right, let me
he's
read
got some
donos that we
secrets.
missed. We definitely missed some donos during that.
Who's in here? Who just hopped?
Are
in?
you
I don't
fucking
have the
retarded?
soundboard. What do you mean? The mic's the retard.
No, you are. You're. End the stream. Or I'm gonna end it. No, I'm just gonna end the stream.
No, I'm not ending the stream. Like, he sent it. All right, it's content, Keem. Like,
All right. Well, I'm on your channel now, and say goodbye.
ladies and gentlemen,
It was in the fucking group
Fuck
chat
you.
though.
Fuck you.
Keem, he sent it to us. Like, he ended the stream.
Yeah. So Twiggy decided to release some DMs in real time, which resulted in Keemstar coming in and ending the stream. It was so bad, it was comical. Now, many people may think, well, it is believable. Is it true? Honestly, given that this is Twiggy, I'm very much inclined to believe him. That's a hot take. There's just a part of me that's telling me just believe Twiggy. Just one time. Just fully believe, because, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But yeah, I know Twiggy is a bit of a trickster, a prankster. He gets a lot of crap. And I think he just takes it in the chin and has a good time with it, right? But I think at this moment, you can tell that when Twiggy's mad, if you ever interacted with Twiggy, if you ever spoken to Twiggy, ever, like, you know, met the guy, dealt with the guy, you know when he's mad or being serious, he's being serious. And that's just who he is. You know, he knows how to have fun on the internet, with, I'm not gonna lie, it did inspire me quite a bit in my approach when I'm trying to do my videos, again, because I don't make content. So, you know, it was reminding me to just have fun. Just have fun with this stuff. Make fun of people. Just enjoy the lolcows, right? Because we're all a little bit of lolcows on the internet. But in this one particular moment, I'm like, damn, Twiggy, you really did it. You outdid yourself. You can tell that if Michael did his job and, you know, certain boundaries weren't broken, yeah, I can 100% believe Twiggy would have never done this. Just never. Yeah, I feel bad for Steak. I think Twiggy may agree that he feels bad for Steak, but it is what it is. You get roped into the stuff, right? Now, as we are currently speaking, though, there are certain information that are coming out of the BBU, and that we're going to look into now. If anything, this video is going to be a little longer than usual. But before we move on, I just like to say, justice for Twiggy, W Twiggy, good job, man. I did not expect to. Hey, you know what? Maybe me randomly waking up at night and just watching these shows and getting clips for me to talk about, guess it works out in my favor a lot of times than I think. Let's move on to a little bit of the BBU response, because obviously I'm not going to believe what they're going to say. But let's move on.
Long story short, guys, I think the bottom line of this is they're baiting me to break an NDA. So there's limited amount of stuff I can address. I'm just reaching out to my lawyer first. But I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. And of course, they're trying to rile us all up in the meantime so that I feel pressured to break the NDA by having to explain. So I think that's what's going on here. Fuck them. Fuck them for doing this during the few hours of the night they know that I actually relax. Motherfuckers. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I just did all the speaking on it I can do, but this is exactly what they do, right? Keem always uses pressure tactics, time pressure constantly. So what do? They do this at night, and it could force me. They know I'm also usually high at this time of night. Forces me to slip up. They also know I was high on my fucking stream. They saw me right on the stream. So, like, it's really bullshit, and they're playing really dirty. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Now. So this was dropped on me, right? I found it on the Reddit, and obviously you heard all those clips. You're hearing them kind of cope and seed. Just a lot of coping and seeding over in the BBU. I don't believe Becky one bit. From what I understand and from what I heard from other people who talked about this stuff, there is no NDA. There is no contract, right? Well, there is an NDA, but it's not enforced by any contract. So even then, it's not even worth, it's not even worth it. But here, right? We can look at the exact date and everything, right? And it's kind of proves that, hey, you know what? For those who support the BBU, who may come at me or may criticize me, hey, I don't give a shit. I never liked the BBU. Half the time, even talking about them is kind of pointless. Half the time when I talk about them, I'm just like, I could be watching the LCU. I mean, it is what it is. And again, I believe Twiggy much more than I'm going to believe anybody else. Regardless of how I felt about Twiggy in the past, I'm going to believe him a lot more than anybody else. I think he was truthful and honest about what he was trying to do. Now, obviously, we can look at the date, which is June 20, 2025 at 9:59 a.m. Done in the morning. Queen Supreme, Loose Lip, Sync Ships. Just add a little bit of other words to make it a little different. Not a one-to-one copy. Stream live on June 2025. Yep, date, everything matched up. Can't even fake it. And since this is how Michael does his notes, like a goddamn idiot, yeah, we really need to sell the idea that you and Roxy have left the LCU. So we want to make donos on the idea that you're going to drink and leak info. Info that I think most people should already know. Keep Roxy in the dark. She still doesn't want to work with me, and it's just easier this way. I wonder why. Becky does the intro shit on Tina for being a tattletale before you bring in Roxy. Let Dick Gemini promote his drunk stream a little, but not long. Don't let it go. Don't let it get boring. You guys go back far about the concept of the soul. You talking shit about the LCU. So say it one at a time thing. It won't be. Have Roxy push the cake to the face thing. Preserve low. You guys can go back and forth with people get the idea of the $50 shot. Somebody will donate. They're going to want the tea low. If nobody donates, throw jabs at game. What they more or less did. And we can probably, if we really wanted to, that was the 20th. Right. That was the 20th. Let's look at Playboard, right? Obviously I have Playboard on hand. Why not? Let's look at the 20th, right? If people were donating for secrets to be spilled, right? The 20th, right? The 20th. The 20th. This was June, so that was a month ago, right? So, a month ago. $834. Interesting. Just a month ago, right? June. Yeah. Everything is lining up. So meaning that everything till now was one big psyop. Now, last for some weird reason, they throughout all of that they decided to cut connections. Or worst case scenario is Mike has been working behind Keem's back, and if that is the case, then hey Keem, you have a rat among your people. Or you have rats among your people. Oops. That's not good for you, Kimif. Which is very, very not good at all. And if Michael, or maybe what's probably really happening is, they're still working. They're still working with Keem. Maybe, Becky's still working with Keemstar behind the scenes. But with Becky Sims and how they are, and they may disagree with me, may call me some stuff as well. I personally don't care. Go for it. But no, in all seriousness, let's actually be serious. I don't really believe anything that, when it's coming to certain thing with Becky, I don't believe her. And it's kind of more or less makes my case to not trust her or believe anything she says. I do kind of feel bad for Roxy that she kind of got thrown into the mix of it. Especially now that I think about it, I lost a lot of sleep for this. But, they're going to try to sweep it. Both sides are going to try to sweep it because they both got found out about that little operation that didn't go anywhere. Till next time. And I know that I do have a BBU video coming out later today. Too bad it's, hey, things happen. Content happen all the time. Let's move on. Till next time.